Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Do a little something different today. We are in between arcs. Should be 1 week away from the new arc. We haven't had an announcement yet, so we shall see in the next few days going into the weekend. See if we get an announcement of, of when the new arc will drop. Most likely it will be Tuesday. What I had in mind today was to introduce myself a little bit as it relates to Star Trek Fleet Command. I have been doing this for a month, so maybe this is a little late, but I did start at the beginning of an arc, so I kind of wanted to do that. Let's see. I've been playing for about 2.5 years, maybe a little more than 2.5 years. I guess March will be 3 years. It was right around the time schools started the not lockdown, I guess a mid COVID lockdown, I guess ish. Schools had started to go virtually. At least mine did. I was in college. Yes, the gray hair you see, I am well above my college years. I was in the Army for a while, so that's why I was in college during COVID. I think that was the first time they ran the Borg arc type thing. So the first month, it was the last month in the Borg storyline with an event store. So it's kind of like my first introduction was, oh, look at all these fancy Borg officers and stuff I can get from the event store. Yeah, they're not so fancy now. Didn't exactly get enough credits for, the really good ones. But I was young and didn't really know too much. One thing I did learn young was dual faction. By hitting one faction of hostiles, you essentially get two dailies, right? If you kill Klingons, you will get your Romulan and your Federation. Kill Federation, you'll get Klingon and Romulan. And the rep that you lose versus rep you'll gain, it essentially cancels out, so you should be progressing them at the same amount, at the same pace. Now, you will get more per certain hostiles, but it's something I've always practiced, even into the 40s. I'm not 100% sure why some folks said don't dual faction. That is not my experience. I don't ever recommend not dual factioning. Unless maybe you reached a lock with two factions and you want to get that third faction to the same lock. It's really the only time I can see any reason to not dual faction. You need faction credit. You need rep. Something I learned very young in this game. And I continue to stick with it. Now, as you get more into the game and you understand this, that, and the other things, nuances about it, you will be able to decide whether you even still want to dual faction or not. You're the ones playing your game. It's not me. You don't have to dual faction if you don't want to. I would definitely do it to start out with. Then you learn the process, right? Get to the first lock at, 10 million? I don't even remember what it is anymore. Then get the third one up to 10 million by single factioning. Should be relatively easy compared to dual factioning. And you see which one you like better. Another thing that I learned very young in this game, research is huge. Every time there's a little daily And actually, let me show you. Give you some kind of visual aid, if you will. Every time you come into this daily event screen and there's a research event, I always do it. The only time I don't get all the milestones if I screwed up, forgot the time, forgot how much time I had left, got busy doing something else, or whatever it was. Research is too important not to do it a lot. So in the same aspect of like people saying don't upgrade ships, don't spend materials unless there's some kind of leaderboard or milestone that will give you more rewards, because you get the benefit of doing a research, doing a building, or upgrading a ship, plus whatever event gives you reward for doing said thing. So anytime you see one of these research events, do researches. Try to find ones that don't cost materials. Sometimes that is easier said than done. But there are shit tons of research, and you want to do as many as possible. Excuse me. And one thing that is a little different on my server than some of the other servers is we have an ROE. And we have as long as I've been playing. While there is benefit to ROEs, they can be ridiculous. RevDeuce even did a video on how ridiculous our ROE is on this server. It is what it is. We fought wars over so-called ROE violations. We've even had a war on how ridiculously worded the ROE is. I've seen a lot of changes in this game. ROE is one of them. I've seen new features come in, which means we have to update the ROE, which is super fun. Actually, no, it's not. Some of the changes I have noticed recently is in regards to some of the new features and ships that have been coming out. Now, way back when, I guess when I did start playing the game, the Vidar and the Franklin were already in the game. So it's a little different. But the Stella, when that came in, I remember getting that for free. It is possible that it was in a $20 battle pass, and I ended up getting the battle pass for free because of some glitch in the game. The Meridian was given out. Discovery was given out. And then as time progressed, then they started giving out half the blueprints. Yes, sometimes for free, sometimes through an event, sometimes through the $20 battle pass. But as far as changes, what happened with the Defiant? Wasn't in a battle pass, you didn't get any prints for free. Strictly pay. I certainly understand this. One of the changes, I'm sure, is the economy. Like I said, I started playing during COVID. I'm sure a lot of people did start playing during COVID because they were home from work, right? What else do you do? Play a phone game. People started going back to work, started playing this game less, therefore maybe spending less. The economy everything's more expensive now. Groceries are more expensive. Really, not something I very understand well. I mean, if you charge more for this thing, they charge more for this thing, and they charge more for this thing. And they just like, oh my God, you're only making it worse. But, however, all right, where the hell am I at? Changes in the game that I've seen, I guess. There's some good things, like research. Like I said, research. How research is so important. The Bajoran, what are they called? Favors. Bajoran favors. Little evolution of research, if you will, right? Usually you have to spend lithium or materials or what have you. And then to speed them up, you need your speed ups and your latinum to speed them up. Well, it's a little different with the Bajoran favors, right? Which I think is a very good change. Another thing that changed while I was playing, I stopped playing solo, if we'll call it that. The girlfriend, I live with her. This is actually her basement. So it's not my mom's basement I'm doing videos from, it's my girlfriend's basement. I don't know if that's better or worse. I think I got her to start playing maybe a year and a half after I started. So she's been playing, what, a year and a quarter, however long. But she moved to the server I'm on, and for the most part has been in the same alliance that I've always been in. That's why it's like I'm not really playing solo. Depending on who your lady is or significant other, it is good for the most part. Now, certainly understand, too much time with each other makes you whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think you get what I'm trying to say at that. So it can be very beneficial to play with the person you're living in a house with, because if you start an armada, you can just yell for the person to go send to your armada instead of trying to make sure someone's online. One benefit to that, especially for her, she didn't make any of the mistakes I made. So because I was there coaching her, so she's able to progress a lot faster than I was. It's like I said, she's been playing for roughly a year and a half ish. She's only maybe about 115, 125 million away from, I guess it's glorified, I don't even remember anymore, to be able to start pulling Pilum blueprints from the faction store. So roughly a month, maybe two, and she'll have a Pilum. So roughly a year and a half to 4-star rare faction ship. Maybe that adds some validity to some... stumbled on that one. Let me take a drink. Monster feels so right now. So I guess what I'm saying about adding validity is because I'm in so much close proximity to her, essentially, it's almost like starting a new account and progressing it further. Some people have done that to see what the game is like at lower levels, but I got that about a year ago, and now we're here. I have my Pilum, and she's about to get hers. I guess it's a little bit of karma, because when she got her Katinga, that's when I built mine, and mine was immediately bigger than hers, and she was a little upset. It's like, oh, it's like a milestone event. I finally got my 4-star ship, and then there you go, building your Katinga that you don't even need. But she is sitting on tons of resource, tons of crystal, like 140,000 4-star uncommon crystal and 120,000 uncommon interceptor parts. I'm not 100% sure how much it would cost her to get up to where my pillow is. That's something we can easily look at. We just haven't gotten around to that yet. But she's creeping up closer to where I am, which is kind of odd. A year and a half later, and she can getting close, man. It's just a testament to what the economy is for lower players now. It's a lot better than what it was when I was making my grind at these low levels. So yes, if you are in your low 30s, it is a little hard for me to try to coach you to get to progress to about where I'm at. But most of that is because the economy is better for you. And there are more loops and more features. When I was back then grinding, rep for my 3-star epic, like there really wasn't any loops. It felt like there was like the Borg one and the Franklin. There wasn't a whole lot of anything else to do, so you just grinded you grinded your ass off for rep. A little harder now. But it is what it is, I guess. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I think I started this video with a plan and then I forgot my plan. Yeah, I think that covers it. Comment below, ask a question. Do you have a question of how it was grinding for me in relation to grinding for you right now? I don't know. I think I'm just muttering on and I should probably just end the video. If you have questions, put them in the comments below. I'll get to you. Like, subscribe. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.